Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Giant Take Podcast. I'm Josh, and you clicked on it. You're ready for it. Let's get right into it. The top 5 receivers in the 2026 NFL Draft. If you watched our 7-round mock draft 1.0 for the New York Giants, where we went through every single pick the New York Giants have in this year's upcoming draft, feel free to go check it out for sure. We really appreciate those who have checked it out. We drafted Carnell Tate in the first round for the New York Giants, the receiver out of Ohio State. Where does he rank in this list? Well, you could probably guess, but we'll get to him later on in this episode. And honestly, I don't really want to waste any time because there's a big three here, and all of these wide receivers are very good in general, but especially the top three. So, without further ado, let's get into number 5 on this list for the top wide receivers in coming into this year's 2026 NFL Draft. Casey Concepcion, Texas A&M, a junior, 5'11", 190 pounds. We'll get into his pros, his cons, and then we'll go through his stats through his 3 years in college. His pros: elite quickness and his yak ability, yards after catch, that is, tremendous acceleration, and his change of direction skills make him one of the most dangerous threats throughout the past couple seasons in college football after the catch. He has over 50% of his yards coming in terms of yak yards. Versatility, capable of playing inside, whether that be the slot, but also as an outside receiver against defenses. He's also even used to running back and special teams. So playing all those roles on the offense, Casey Concepcion. Then his route running, savvy route runner, understands leverage, and can create all 3 levels of separation. So good to know there for Casey Concepcion. That's his pros. His cons: his size and frame. Lacks the ideal size for the prototypical NFL wide receiver, which limits his ability to win in contested catch scenarios or against physical press coverage. Now, I said to you, 190 pounds. This guy's not even 200 pounds, and he's only 5'11". So definitely a shorter wide receiver there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Wan'Dale Robinson, the former Giants wide receiver, now Tennessee Titans. So definitely keep that in mind for Casey Concepcion. But yeah, a little bit of a shorter guy. Definitely a con there. And then drop issues. He's experienced issues with focus drop, sometimes transition to a runner before fully securing the ball. Obviously, your first thought is always catch and then run. And sometimes he kind of gets caught up in the run aspect after the catch. And obviously that's a big part of his game, being that his yak ability is so good, but sometimes it can cause him in a negative light. His stats in 2023 had 71 catches, 839 yards, 12 yards per catch, and 10 touchdowns. 2024, 53 catches, 460 yards, 9 yards per reception, 6 touchdowns. And then this past season, 61 catches, 919 yards, 15 yards per catch, and then 9 total touchdowns. Number 5, Casey Concepcion, a junior out of Texas A&M. We'll go to number 4 now. Denzel Boston, the junior out of Washington. He's 6'4", 209 pounds. So we go from a guy who's 5'11" to a guy who's 6'4". So I think you can understand where his pros might lean towards. Yeah. And let's start with the first one. Elite contested catches. So a complete jump, a complete difference in terms of a con for Concepcion. He's too small, so he's not going to contested catches. Denzel Boston, that's his specialty. He's a premier jump ball receiver, utilizing his size and high point ability to dominate defensive backs. Red zone threat. He has high production. He has 20 touchdowns over the 2024 and 2025 season combined. And at 6'4", has the ideal size to play the receiver position on the outside. So that's the pros for Denzel Boston. A couple of cons: limited speed, I guess because of that 6'4" frame, and then also because of how he's known as the contested catch guy. And yeah, it's basically more of his frame because he's taller, slower guy, lacks elite speed. Or top speed that maybe someone like Concepcion could have, makes it harder for him to create significant separation against what would be NFL level defensive backs. And then despite his size, though, his yard after catch, it's not considered a great threat in terms of when he catches short passes and then turns it into long gains. So another con. So kind of the opposite receiver of Casey Concepcion. The yards after catch and the speed is his thing, not contested catches. And then for Boston, he's more of a contested catch guy. We'll get into his stats here. Played in 2022 through 2025, and you could tell the years he started and the years he didn't, because in 2022 and 23, he had a combined 7 catches for about 75 yards. Then in 2024, 63 catches, 834 yards, 13 yards per catch, and then 9 touchdowns. And then in 2025, just a catch short of 2024, 62 catches, 881 yards, 14 yards per catch, and 11 tutties. So number 4, Denzel Boston. You got Casey Concepcion, the smaller frame, speedier guy, better guy yards after catch. And then you have the one-on-one beast, a 6'4" frame, Denzel Boston at number 4. Let's go to number 3. Mekhi Lehman. Again, this is the big 3. It kind of depends how you want to shift these 3 guys, but these are always going to be your big 3, I think, for this year. For this year's NFL draft. Okay, Mekhi Lehman, number 3, USC junior, 5'11", 195 pounds, so the same height as Casey Concepcion. And pros, elite route running and IQ. He's described as a nuanced and savvy route runner with an excellent feel for space and zone coverage. His hands and catch point as well as another pro. A reliable receiver, has very few drops. He's often described as having a soft, secure hands and high-level body control to make those tough catches, and then his yak ability. So again, a similar kind of receiver as Concepcion. They have a pretty similar frame. So his yak ability, dangerous after the catch, using lateral agility, vision, and balance to break tackles and gain even some extra yards. His cons, and it's the same thing again as Concepcion with his size limitations. He's only 5'11", so he's on the smaller side for a receiver transitioning to the NFL level, and that can limit his catch radius. He also struggles with physicality, so he could be pushed off his routes because of his smaller frame, and that can be done by physical, long-armed receivers who play off the line of scrimmage. So that could obviously mess up his route as well. But for Mekhi Lehman, going into his stats, 2023, 6 catches, 88 yards. So wasn't playing. 2024 now, 52 catches, 764 yards, 15 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. You might think, okay, he only had 3 touchdowns. 2025 was his year. He had a single breakout year, and it came in his junior season, where he went 79 catches, over 1,000 yards, 1,156 to be specific. Same thing, 15 yards per catch, which he had the year prior, and 11 touchdowns. So double digits, went from 3 to 11, and that's why he's number 3 on this list, Mekhi Lehman, the USC junior. Number 2 now. We're going to Arizona State. Jordan Tyson, a junior, 6'2", 200 pounds. In my opinion, you talk about guys who are like Denzel Boston, who's 6'4", and then you say, oh, the size is too big because then he's not great in the yak ability. He's not as fast as other receivers. Then, oh, these guys are too small, like Concepcion and Lehman. This is my perfect frame wide receiver in Jordan Tyson, 6'2", 200 pounds. Let's go into his pros. Elite separation and route running. Considered a superior route runner with suddenness and fluid movement that makes him difficult to cover. His playmaking ability, possesses great top end speed, acceleration, and ball tracking skills downfield, and his contested catch ability. So he's kind of bringing both, putting them together. The things that we talked about with Lehman and Concepcion in terms of a route runner and a yak guy and a speedy player, but then also taking what we talked about from Boston, because he's a taller frame as well, and he can make those contested catches too. So I think that's pretty cool about Jordan Tyson. Now, going into his cons, this always happens in football, but unfortunately for him, it's been more in college than a lot of other players, and it's definitely going to be looked at and talked about when he has interviews. His injury history. He missed time in every season between 2022 and 2025. And it's not a laughing matter. It's just, ironically, like just crazy. He had a knee injury that kept him out in 2022, and then a collarbone injury that kept him out for most of 2024. So, that's unfortunate stuff. It's stuff that happens in football, but it just sucks that it's happened a lot in his collegiate career, and it's kept him out of games every single season. And then his inconsistency in terms of drops. He's definitely shown issues with focus and inconsistent effort in run blocking as well. So, I would say bigger cons for Tyson than any player, especially the injury history. I mean, you never want to draft a player that already has an injury history. That's something that Tyson possesses. So definitely keep that in mind. But he is, I will say, he is my favorite guy in this draft in terms of wide receiver position. Jordan Tyson Jr. out of Arizona State at number 2. And at this point, you should have guessed who's number 1. It's the guy that we picked in our mock draft to go first round for the New York Giants, and that is Carnell Tate out of The Ohio State University, a junior, 6'3", 195 pounds. His pros: elite route running, considered one of the most advanced route runners in the NFL draft with the ability to manipulate defensive backs. He's got strong hands and a good catch radius, known for catching everything. That's a high success rate on contested catches and also high pointing the ball as well. And his mentality, it's pro ready. He plays in the Big Ten. He knows what the deal is. He knows how to play against NFL cornerbacks and just NFL players in general. When you go to Ohio State, that's who you're going up against, and that's who's on your team for the most part. So he displays a high football IQ. He understands the soft spots in zone coverage and also good, strong blocking abilities as well as for a wide receiver. Cons: he's got average top end speed, so he doesn't have that like quote unquote like burning speed. You know, when I think of like burner, like Burns a wide receiver, or Burns a cornerback, I should say, I think of like Tyreek Hill, right? So he doesn't have like that top end finesse route running and kind of raw explosion to just burst past a cornerback. But not a lot of people in the NFL do. I mean, that's a skill that like I think of again like John Ross, Tyreek Hill, maybe even McCole Hardman, who are like speedy guys like that who can get open like that. He's got a slender frame as well, lacks high-end play strength, which can be an issue against physical long-arm cornerbacks at the line of scrimmage. That was another, I think, thing we talked about with Mekhi Lehman as well. But Carnell Tate, for anyone who's curious, we talked about Mekhi Lehman, who's 5'11", 195 pounds. Carnell Tate is 4 inches taller at 6'3" and is 195 pounds. So definitely something that maybe, NFL teams might tell him when he joins their team, hey, bulk up, man, and can get bigger in order to get stronger, in order to compete against most of these cornerbacks in the NFL, because they're not going to hold back, right? So let's go through 5 through 1 again, or 1 through 5, however you want to do it. Number 5, Casey Concepcion, the junior out of Texas A&M. Number 4, Denzel Boston, the junior out of Washington. Number 3, Mekhi Lehman, the junior out of USC. Number 2, Jordan Tyson, the junior out of Arizona State. And number 1, Carnell Tate, the junior out of Ohio State. Those are your 5 players in this upcoming NFL draft.